Now guys, I want you to know that 7th Avenue in this neighborhood becomes known as Fashion Avenue. And this is the garment district of New York. It's one of the most important industries in New York City. And buyers, when they're buying American women's fashion for your department stores back home or your boutiques back home, and they come to the United States, this is where they come to find the clothing that you will ultimately buy in your stores back home. It's a big, big industry in New York City. Now, the most common form of transportation on the streets of New York are, of course, the yellow taxi cabs. And we have approximately 13,000 yellow cabs on the streets of New York City. 60% of the people who drive a yellow taxi cab come from the Indian subcontinent. And they come from India, they come from Bangladesh, they come from Pakistan, and they have their own special taxi cab federation. If you look on the hood of a yellow cab, you'll see a little piece of metal. It's black and white, a little piece of tin, and it's called a medallion. And a medallion is kind of a license for the vehicle. If a yellow car does not have a medallion, it's not a legal taxi cab. They'll be arrested. So they must have that medallion. The medallion number is the same one that's on the roof of the cab or on the license plate. So the one right in front of us is 2F38. And there are only 13,000 of these medallions. And a medallion can now sell for over $600,000. It's a lot of money. Across the street is Macy's, the world's largest department store. Over 4,000 people are employed by this one store alone. Now, if any of you guys want to shop at Macy's tonight, it's only a block away from the Empire State Building where we drop you off. It's open till 9 o'clock tonight. You want to go up to the visitor center first, okay? And if you go to the visitor center on the mezzanine level, on the 34th Street side of the building, you will get a discount card for 11% off. All you have to do is show them proof that you are not a resident of New York. And you do that by showing them your license or your passport. No? Does anybody have that? Well, you know what? You don't have any ID on you that no? Well, get together with somebody else who has an ID. You have an ID, a license or something, a passport, anything? No? Over to the left is Macy's, the world's largest department store. I mean, not Macy's, it's Empire State Building. The tallest building in New York. You see it? Can you see it? We'll see it again to the left. 102 floors, took a little bit over 13 months to build. Across the street, Madison Square Garden. You see the big video screen sign. And Madison Square Garden claims to be the most famous sports arena in the world. It's the home of the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers, our hockey team, the New York Liberties, our women's basketball team. And they actually do over 500 events a year at Madison Square Garden. This is the 4th garden, the 3rd location. And they have an arena that holds around 20,000 people in the arena. And they even have a smaller theater that holds around 6,000 people. So a very famous spot when people like the Rolling Stones or Cher or Madonna come to town. When they perform in New York, it's usually going to be at a big, huge Coliseum type arena like Madison Square Garden. Now guys, this is very close to the neighborhood where we're going to be dropping you off tonight, okay? Now over to the left on 32nd Street are all these, a couple of what we call 99-cent stores. And one's called Jack's 99-cent store, the other's called Weber's. But its stuff is cheap, 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 super cheap. See Jack's? And if you want to get like a cheap toy for your host family's child, the children you're going to be taking care of, you can go there, you can look like a hero. It looks like it's going to cost much more money, but you'll pay only a few dollars. 31st Street, renamed after a priest named Father Michael F. Judge. And Father Judge was the fireman chaplain. And on September 11th, he went down to an area that we now refer to as Ground Zero, the site of the World Trade Center, and he went down there to give last rites to the dying firemen and he himself died in that pursuit. He's now honored with a street named after him. We're still in Fashion Avenue, but this is the fur district of New York. If you want to buy a mink coat tonight, this is the neighborhood. Over to the right is the last building of the garment district. This is FIT, bless you, the Fashion Institute of Technology. They have a wonderful free museum open tonight till 8 o'clock. If anybody's into fashion, they have a great exhibition over at FIT. Over to the right is a television studio. That's where Martha Stewart tapes her television show, and also a supermodel, ex-supermodel known as Tyra Banks. She does her talk show based out of those television studios on 26th Street. You know, in New York, we split New York into what we call uptown, midtown, and downtown. Very good. And remember when I got onto the bus at the Plaza Hotel? Everything north of that, everything up from that is uptown. Then we started driving through Fifth Avenue, Times Square, Garment District, Midtown, New York. And now this is the beginnings of downtown New York City. And everything that is young and hip and happening happens in downtown New York. Hip like you guys. This is your neighborhood that we're coming through. And this first neighborhood that we're driving through is known as Chelsea. This is the Chelsea district of New York. I hope the rain holds off. Now guys, as we pass 23rd Street, I want everybody to look to the right, and you're going to see a red brick building in the middle of the block, and it's a very famous hotel called the Chelsea Hotel. See that red brick building? It says Hotel Chelsea. And it's been used in many movies, been written about. It's most famous for being the hotel that artists and writers and musicians have loved to stay in. People like Arthur Miller, the great American playwright. Have you ever heard of a guy named Sid Vicious, very famous punk rocker who killed his girlfriend Nancy? Where did he kill her? Over at the Chelsea Hotel. Many of the artists who could not afford to pay their rent for their room or pay for the room, they would pay with a piece of artwork, a painting. And if you go into the lobby of the Chelsea Hotel, you'll see the paintings on the wall that were given for the room instead of money. Very famous place. Their motto is, "We are the resting spot for the rare individual." Over to the left, we can see a restaurant called Cafeteria, used in several episodes of Sex and the City. And when they originally opened, all the people who worked there, you can go as fast as you want, Greg, yeah. All the people who worked there, their uniforms designed by Dolce and Gabbana. Now guys, what I want you to notice is how simple this city is. Remember I told you Fifth Avenue splits New York between East and West, and in 1811, a guy came up with that plan. His name was Randall, and he came up with a plan called the Randall Plan that splits or designs New York in a grid pattern, like a checkerboard. All the avenues were on an avenue, were going south, either run north or south or both. The streets run at right angles to the avenues, and they get bigger as you go uptown. So here we are at, what street are we on, 15th? Next street up is going to be 16, 17, 18, 19. You're going downtown, the numbers get smaller. So very simple way of getting around New York City, at least above 14th Street. Above 14th Street, we have that great system that makes it very easy to get around. If you can count, you will not get lost in New York above 14th Street. But guess what? We're going below 14th Street. We're going below the system, and it can get very confusing as you go through these older, pre-designed districts of New York. And this first neighborhood that we're going through is known as Greenwich